Well, thank you all very much for those of you who have sent questions in for our first blog, and I'm looking forward to hearing what the questions are. Tēnā koe Hiria. Of course, the reason for the delegation going to Fiji is to canvass the very issue that you are raising, to look into the relationships that are occurring there, but more importantly to see if we can find a way forward. The issue of seats at government, at local government level here, is one, of course, that's come about through the Bay of Plenty, setting aside specific seats, and of course the Auckland Super City. Those issues really are for mana whenua to work through. They're the ones who should really decide whether they think it's appropriate to have seats on the council or whether they want legislation passed to give them an equal opportunity to have an equal say alongside of the council. At the end of the day, that's for them to decide. It's our job to advocate for what they tell us. Kia ora, James. James, there is no constitution, no written constitution right now in Aotearoa. But what we do have is Te Tai Hauauru. That is the only written constitution that we have, and it's really important for us to know that we have a right as tangata whenua to be part of the decision making at every table that there is in terms of governance, and so it's a right really that the Maori Party is saying. Kia ora anō, James. Regarding the abolishment of seats, the 1986 Royal Commission's report, the fact of it is at that time there were only 4 seats, and the reason behind the recommendation of abolishing them was because in fact they were no longer effective. I don't think that we could say that today in 2009, where we had 7 seats, and probably by the next election highly likely to have 8 or 9. So I don't think that that is relevant to today's situation, and I don't think they would have said that today. Kia ora, James. Again, James, on the issue of representation regarding the Māori seats, because you say we're both representing Māori and the Crown, that's true, but we do have a right to represent the voice of Māori people because we hold the 5 Māori seats, and it is our job here in Parliament, regardless as to whether we're sitting on the side of the Crown or whether we're sitting in opposition, to represent that voice. And we are a powerful voice for our people, we're an independent voice, and regardless of whether we're sitting with the Crown or not, our first responsibility is to our constituency. The issue of Fiji, of course, is very topical right now. The delegation that is looking at going to Fiji is being led by the Maori Party President, Whenua, and basically it's a fact-finding mission. So they're going over there to talk to as many people as possible to find out what the situation is, and really to find out if there is a way forward. Already they are meeting and speaking with many people here in Aotearoa, those who have had a lot to do with Fiji, those who have visited with Bainimarama to talk about democracy, and this isn't about talking about democracy. This is talking about how best can we find a way forward rather than isolating them. The Maori Party doesn't believe that that's a good option. Tēnā koe hāpuna. I would love to sit here today and to be able to say to you, yes, there'll be another seat for Te Waiponamu. That particular seat comes right up into Wellington, goes out to Lower Hutt, comes to just below Tawa, so it's a huge electorate. Part of the issue is the way the boundaries are set for the electorates. I think it's highly unlikely that there'll be another seat. What we would like to see though is if those who are on the general roll came back onto the Māori roll within Te Tai Tonga, then we might be able to have a seat that's dedicated to Te Waiponamu. But right now, no. Tēnā koe, Trevor. Regarding the foreshore and seabed and the existing mining licences, I am unsure but feel fairly certain that you could not revoke licences that have already been given to these people to operate. It would be great to be able to say to you today, yes, we can revoke them because the foreshore and seabed has either been repealed or reviewed and there have been changes made. I think it's highly unlikely that a repeal would result in a revoke. Hamiora, your question around John Key joining the delegation. Well, no, he won't be. New Zealand was part of the Pacific Forum that decided to expel Fiji. So there's no way that as Prime Minister of this country that he can go back on the decision that was made at that forum. We respect that. He won't be going to Fiji, as won't Peter Sharples, who also was planning on going with the delegation. But because he is a minister with the government, he requires the support of the Prime Minister to go, and the Prime Minister believes it's inappropriate for anybody who is a minister in the government to be going to Fiji when New Zealand has already made up its mind. Kia ora, Todd. The reason why Tamaki's not getting more money or an extra person to work in their office is because the decision to give another person into the electorates was based on the size of those electorates. I think the Tamaki electorate is maybe 700 odd kilometres. The electorates that are getting the extra seat are in fact over 12,000 square kilometres. So there's a huge difference for people to be able to serve their constituencies. It's considered that Tamaki is not anywhere near in that situation, so they won't be getting the extra person.